Welcome to Shades of Spirit with me, Psychic Medium Jaime.
And me, Spirit Walker Nicole, making sacred connections, bringing a shade of spirit to you.
In this live call-in variety show, we are going to take the fear out of spirit communications. We talk about all things spirit-related as we connect you with your crossed-over loved ones, angels, and guides. We will provide useful tips for developing your own psychic and healing abilities to integrate these techniques into your everyday life and have fun in the process.
Because if it ain't fun, we're done. Shades of Spirit starts now.
Hello, everybody. I am Psychic Medium Jaime with Shades of Spirit. I have a co-host today, our beautiful LaShawn Butler. Yay! She's going to be joining me for our episode today on physical empathy. So for those of you that watched my Eye of Soul radio a few weeks ago, I did an entire show on being an empath. It was right around the holidays. How do we navigate the holidays while being an empath? Because that's very difficult to do from time to time. We're feeling the energy of the world, the pandemic, the politics going on. So much was coming to a head for us come the holiday season that I wanted to give you guys useful tools that you could use throughout the day in order to keep your energy yours and keep it separate from others, and then understand how that energy affects our physical bodies as well. Because a lot of times we just think, oh, this is the third headache this week, or boy, I really got this really weird pain in my lower back, or I am an emotional wreck and there's no reason for me to be an emotional wreck. And that's because we all have this ability. It is like a sixth sense. It is part of our psychic senses. But being an empath is something that sometimes gets misdiagnosed or mistreated because they don't understand that the energy between ourselves and the people around us, including plant life, animals, and it goes together. And so when something is off balance or disharmony, that does move into our energy field. So today I wanted to talk about physical empathy, because what happens is that we have just our regular senses, right? And they're all open. But a lot of times it starts to actually move into our physical body. You would be called a physical empath if all of a sudden, your dad had some sore knees and you got done halfway with the day and be like, oh my God, my left knee is really bothering me. And you see him over there rubbing his knee. You're feeling that pain from him, right? People who are physical empaths are very porous. So if you think of yourself as a sponge, all those little pores and holes in there and how we just fill up with that energy. Physical empaths, are exactly like that as well from my perspective and what I've seen and what the research I've done on being an empath. Remember, you are all empaths. So if you even feel it a little bit, there's ways today that you'll be able to, turn that around and protect yourself and shield yourself as well. We have the emotional empaths, which is what we really focused on last time on Eye of Soul Radio. And that's the person that can feel and absorb the emotions, right? And that is that sudden crying, or all of a sudden you're angry, or all of a sudden you're really happy. And you're like, well, that came out of nowhere because that's not how my day was going. But you were next to someone in line who was just having the best day of their life. And you picked up on that energy. Being an empath is not a negative thing. I know it seems like a burden from time to time, and that's what LaShawn and I will start getting into here pretty soon about. Sometimes it is a burden, but at the same time, it allows us to move into someone's space and be able to help them, work with them. Even if it's just in the grocery store of a hi, how are you, can turn someone's emotional and physical pain around in a heartbeat. And we no longer will feel that because we've acknowledged it. We're going to help you figure out where it's coming from. That's the big part for us, trying to figure out where it's coming from so that we can release it. Physical empaths can feel the energy in your physical body, right? So it also can lead us to say that maybe you didn't tweak your back because you're like, well, I woke up like this. Maybe it was that your spouse or partner or whoever had done something to their back at work and didn't want to complain about it and went to bed. And you're feeling that and absorbing that energy as well. Mm-hmm. So what's really cool about LaShawn, you guys, is that she is also an intuitive medium. So she's able to tune in on the spirits part of it as well. She's a Reiki master. She's a shaman. And she is probably one of the most powerful physical empaths I have yet to meet. We know a couple really emotional empaths that just gets hit and overwhelmed with those emotions through either spirit or the physical. But LaShawn is one who actually takes it into her body and feels it. And God, how many years went on where she didn't understand where it was coming from, right? So LaShawn, I want you to introduce yourself, introduce your company name, what you do. And yeah, I have a quiz for everybody on being a physical empath as well. So introduce yourself, girl.
Hello, everybody. My name is LaShawn Butler. And as Jamie stated, I am an intuitive medium. I am a Reiki master, as well as a shaman. I'm also a mom and a wife, a hairstylist. I do a lot. Yeah.
My hair is one. Thank you. Yes, she's fantastic. COVID-friendly hair. Yep.
So jack of all trades. I do own a business. Yay, which I'm so excited because it's legal.
Oh, yeah, you got your business license. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's Luminous Path with Love. And with Luminous Path of Love, I make bracelets that are what I call energy jewelry. They're natural gemstones of all ranges, to just kind of help us out throughout the day, throughout our life. They're just amazing. I'll get into chokers and, anklets, almost anything jewelry is what I do right now with Luminous Path of Love.
Now, what I love is that I can see it behind you. So for people that are being like, yeah, I completely resonate with the fact that, there's something else that's going on. Or, yeah, I took that quiz at ISL Radio for the emotional empath, and I really checked a lot of those boxes. Or today when we go through the quiz after the break and we talk about how physical they are, what are some of the stones that they can use, and how do you go about creating these? Because they are energy barriers for some. They absorb energy. They'll put out energy. So for you, because you're such a strong empath, and I mean, hold up your arms, girl. You wear like every single one of your bracelets here. If you're going out somewhere, and it is about trying to shield your energy or protect your energy, what would you recommend? So I'm a client, I come to you, I go, I have horrible emotional, empathy, and I can feel stuff in my body now. What can I do to protect myself with bracelets, with stones?
Okay, so there's a variety of stones that you can use. A lot of them have dual meanings behind them. So, but, I'd say for the starter stones that, amethyst is good. Rose quartz is good. I absolutely love clear quartz. That is considered the master healer. It is, it's clear. It's like this. It's clear. That's considered the master healer of all things physical, all things emotional, all things physical, emotional, and God, what am I trying to say? I lost my body.
Mental, right? It's that whole, yes, brings it all together.
That's why I need it, because I have the mental parts right now, right?
But what about some heavier stones like tourmaline or obsidian? Can you mix those in there?
Yes, you have tourmaline. Those are your black stones. Anytime you have black stones, that's good for protection on all levels. I love tourmaline because it is that master protector, kind of like your clear quartz. Mm-hmm. But then you have your obsidian, who is one of those in your face type of stones. So those are one of those stones that is going to get you, it's going to bring out all of that, the physical, the emotional, and the mental stuff. That's not for the lighthearted, to be honest with you, so you're going to have to be ready on all angles, when you wear that particular stone. But my process is, because I do a whole lot of them where they're customized to each of the clients. So some of them allow me to go in intuitively and create for them. Some of them would tell me what they're looking for. Anxiety, amethyst is great for anxiety, self-love, you have rose quartz. And so I'll just go in and just start to create. I feel them in my hands. I hold them. I'm very into the physical aspect of it, of touching these stones, seeing how they feel when they come together, and what it is, how it feels, how I feel that it would feel to that person and their energy, because I am able to go into that person's energy.
I love it because it is about connecting with your clients. So yes, they can buy something that they see that's pretty. If Spirit Walker Nicole is here, we can make fun of her today.
Right.
Oh, that's so pretty. I want the blue one, right? But deep down, there's a meaning in why she grabbed that one. And for you being able to talk to your clients and be like, all right, what's going on in your life? You pick stuff up as that intuitive medium as well. You're using your psychic senses and being able to be like, okay, let's meet halfway. I can see where you're coming from with these, but I want to throw this, and this in as well to give you that well-rounded energy bracelet. Fantastic, you guys. So check her out at Luminous Path with Love on Etsy and her Facebook page. I have a collective card that I want to read you guys. Now, we both have card decks as well today. So if you want a card, you can put it in the chat box. You can call in at 1-800-930-2819. Today's card message for everybody before we go to break and we come back, so make sure you stay tuned because there's going to be a quiz to see how many points you check on that physical empath within yourself. But it's a beautiful card out of the Peace deck. And I really was just drawn. I was trying to find one of my love decks and they were like, we need a peace card today. But what's interesting is that we're in the strategy mode right now. And it is about connection with earth. And it's all these beautiful colors that are here. And what's wrapped around it are the roots that go from the bottom and then back up. And it has a snake. And the strategy card message says, your future isn't going to build itself. No kidding. How many times have we sat back and we're like, okay, what I'm going to put out in the world, it's going to all come back. And we're all over here still waiting to see, when is it going to come back? When's it going to come back? It says you are creating it in everything you do. Your feelings, thoughts, and actions are steering your destiny. Absolutely. And that's part of being an empath, is staying on our own track, staying within our energy so that we don't get, absorbed by other people's energy, that sponge that starts to kick into action. And those little pieces, those little fragments of their energy within us, it isn't going to help us move forward on our path as quickly as we want because we have to take care of that debris, like Pigpen, right? And Charlie Brown. And so if we can keep our energy clear and understand where it's coming from and stay empowered, this is true. You're creating it in everything you do. Shape tomorrow with joyful anticipation. I know it's hard these days, but get up out of bed, get that gratitude journal out, have a board with words, put it on your mirror like LaShawn does, but get out of bed and start that day in joyful anticipation. Direct your future with love, compassion, and understanding. Very important right now. With peace as your plan, you and this world just gets better every day. And I understand why they picked that, because that's a message we need to hear. With peace as you plan, you and this world just gets better every day. And I think it's something we have definitely lost sight in from time to time. And they want us to reconnect on that level today. So we'll see you after this break and we'll do a quiz to see if you are a physical empath. Thanks, guys. Hey everyone, it's me, Psychic Medium Jaime.
And me, Spirit Walker Nicole from Shades of Spirit, bringing you another Shades of Spirit tip of the week. Jaime, have you ever wondered if you might be an empath?
Yes, I have. And some signs that we may be an empath include an inexplicable desire to avoid crowds in places like movie theaters, shopping centers, and restaurants.
Sometimes I'm able to walk into a room with other people and I know exactly how they're feeling, even if no one is saying a word.
I can attend social gatherings or other events and find myself so emotionally exhausted and physically drained that I could probably sleep for a week.
If any of these examples resonate with you, please come check out our new live podcast, Shades of Spirit. It's on every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on Transformation Talk Radio.
You can also find us at shadesofspirit.com, where you can book your appointment or call us at 858-684-7575.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin on TransformationTalkRadio.com each second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were. This intuitive healer studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Visit OneTrueSelf.com.
Juggling life's relentless demands can leave us unbalanced and restless. Do you feel stuck in the overwhelm? Diane McClay is a personal empowerment coach, author, and compassionate storyteller on a mission to boost you into balance and help you move forward with passion and purpose. Get unstuck with Diane on The Diane McClay Show every second and fourth Friday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information about Diane, visit DianeMcClay.com.
Hi, I'm Laura Goldstein, and here's a Coffee with the Universe tip. Ever wonder why you want to go to the gym more, for example, but you just can't make it happen? You find yourself rearranging your underwear drawer instead of getting in the car. If this sounds like you might have caught a case of the shoulds. Maybe you think you should lose 20 pounds to fit back into your favorite pair of jeans, or that you should be healthier in general. It all sounds good, but deep down you just aren't into it. Truth is, making choices from shoulds just leads to guilt, resentment, and a whole lot of procrastination. So take a good look at your goals. Are you shoulding yourself anywhere? If so, give yourself permission to let it go. For more insights like this, tune into my Transformation Talk radio show called Coffee with the Universe. It's a live call-in show. I'd love to support you.
Welcome back, everybody. I am Psychic Medium Jaime, and I have guest host on, LaShawn Butler from Luminous Path with Love. We are covering empaths today, and if you caught my show a few weeks ago, go back and listen to it because it starts to build a story. And it was on Eye of Soul Radio, and it was Empath 101. And today we're kind of hitting it at Empath 102 and really looking at the physical aspects of being an empath and how they affect our physical body and how we can learn to decipher whether it's our energy, someone else's energy, maybe spirit energy can affect us as well. Even if you may not be into the whole spirit part of it, understand that we can be affected by the unseen around us because they are just as much an energy being as we are, as my table is, as the plants are outside. So we get bombarded daily with excess energy, and everybody is an empath. Everybody has this quality. It's just how many of us put up the wall and go throughout our day, and how many of us have a hard time taking that wall and putting it up because we aren't quite sure how to do it, or maybe we forget to put it up. And then how do we save ourselves from that day as the energy just keeps coming at us? So I want you guys to take a quiz, and then I will do a card pull for Erica Chavez. So right now, I want you guys to think about this. Now, you don't have to have a pencil and paper, but you can always go back to us and listen again. We have podcasts on Spotify and iHeartRadio and all over the place. So you can go back and listen to it. You can also go to Transformation Talk Radio and listen to it there as well. But I want you to be honest about the answers within yourself. So the first question, have I been labeled as overly sensitive or a hypochondriac? So how many of you have been labeled as overly sensitive, or you constantly think that the smallest little thing within your body or your mind is something that is just drastically wrong, right? And oh my gosh, there's something else going on. Like, what is this? Like this pain over here. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Is this going to be my spleen? Like, how many of you are on that level? And remind yourself that if you answer yes, it's okay, because we're going to help you work through this energy. The next question says, have I ever sat next to someone who seemed nice, but suddenly my eyelids got heavy and I felt like I was taking a nap? Right? So you're sitting next to somebody and you're like, oh, they seem like they're okay. And all of a sudden it just starts draining your energy, right? So seeming nice on the outside, but on the inside, they're very well draining your own energy. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I've been riding this bus with this person, and now I'm just going to lay over here and take a nap, miss your bus stop. And they come out even nicer and a spring in their step. Well, those are, I hate using energy vampires, but most of you understand that concept, is that they are sometimes intentionally and sometimes not siphoning your energy, right? Taking that physical energy from you. Do you feel uneasy, tired, or sick in crowds and avoid them? So if you're going out and okay, the kids want to go to SeaWorld today, I already know what a day I'm going to have. I'm already mindset of like, oh my gosh, by the end of the day, I'm exhausted. Sometimes if you're standing in line at, Target, and all of a sudden you feel kind of sick and you're like, ew, what's going on here? I felt fine 3 minutes ago, right? Or for me, it was concerts. There was too much going on there, feeling everything. And so I would actually start to feel sick before I even went. Being so psychic and an empath and a medium, I was already tuning into the energies that were going to be there. and that would take over. Do you feel someone else's anxiety or physical pain in your body? So again, I use my dad. He's got horrible degenerative arthritis. Some days it's his lower back, some days it's knees. He doesn't like to sit around and complain about it either. So he'll be up moving around, and I know that he's in pain, but now I'm able to pinpoint where it is because I start to feel it. And by the time I get home, I feel like I'm walking around like a 70-year-old man with a cane because I've taken that energy in. I mean, why wouldn't I want to do that to try and help him? But that's not healthy for me. So we have to learn how to transmute it. Do you feel exhausted by angry or hostile people? Yes. I think most of us are answering yes. Do I run from doctor to doctor for medical tests, but I'm told you're fine? That is a big one as well. Now, again, sometimes we'll be like, I need a second opinion. And the next doctor's like running the same tests and running some different ones. And they're like, no, you are fine. But you're like, there's something going on in my physical body. It's making me feel sick. It's making me feel anxious. It's, my stomach's always turns. And they're like, there's nothing physically wrong with you. How frustrating is that too, to hear that when you want to go and make sure that you're okay? Am I chronically tired or have unexplained symptoms? Yes. I know. It's just one of those things. Yes. And the last one, do I feel overwhelmed by the world and want to stay home? Okay, that might be a catch-22. So I want you guys to think about pre-pandemic where we're not in lockdown 642 and it's almost been a year where all of this is coming to a head, right? But sometimes even still, like there are days where I don't want to go out, even if it's to run an errand, right? It's so much energy out there that I know it's going to hit me. So if you've answered yes to 1 to 3 questions, you are at least part empath, that physical empath. Responding yes to 4 or 5 questions indicates you have a moderate degree of physical empathy. And if you answered yes to 6 to 7, you have a high degree, okay? Now, if you have the 8, you're a full-blown empath. Now, I would have to say a lot of you, when you go back, if you're like, oh, no, I want you to think about these questions. I want you to go back and listen to them. And I want you to be like, oh, you know what? I used to have that, but now I'm better. And I want you to think about how you don't allow that energy to affect you anymore, because you may not understand it either. That's fine. It's Monday morning, right? Discovering that you are a physical empath can definitely be a revelation. So make sure you understand we're not crazy. You are not a hypochondriac. You are feeling that energy, and it's probably someone else who had gallbladder disease, and you're standing next to them in line, and all of a sudden you get that weird pain under your rib. I'm not even sure which side my gallbladder's on. And all of a sudden you walk out of Target after being away from that person for a few minutes and it's lifted. How many of you have had those unexplained pains, right? You're not imagining it. A doctor might treat you like a nuisance, but still go. We are not medical professionals. So if you feel there's something wrong within your body, LaShawn will be able to speak on that. Go to the doctor, right? What is the worst they're going to do? Tell you that there's nothing wrong? That's to celebrate. Now it's to understand, okay, now how do I remove that energy? How do I not let that affect me, right? So for you, LaShawn, how many did you check yes to?
Well, there's 9 of them. I checked 8 of them, and I have a question mark by 1, and it's only because I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember or think, is that the reason why my eyelids got heavy? Is that, or not? So I put a question mark, but yes to every one of them, wholeheartedly, hands down. It's really something to be able to have the physical the pain of people that you are surrounded by and, trying to manage that.
Absolutely. And we don't think about that sometimes. We just think, okay, well, I'm sitting next to him, or in the movies. Like you walked in the movie theater wide awake and had your coffee from Starbucks, and about halfway through you've just taken a nap and you're like, why did I miss that movie? When the person next to you is over here jumping up with their popcorn bucket, like getting a refill, right? And you're like, what happened here? I think that one probably is one of the most misunderstood ones, because we just assume that we might know an energy vampire around us. And when in reality, they could be anywhere. And they're just there siphoning off people's energy to keep themselves going. But that even catches up with them and their physical body as well, because they're not manifesting and creating their own abundance. And so I don't want to say karmic, because some of these people are not bad people. They don't understand what's happening, but their life path has definitely been deviated because now they have all these other energies within themselves and they're not traveling on their own path. So when we get back, that's where we're going to get into the good stuff. I'm telling you, that's the way we're going to surrender that toxic energy and hear how LaShawn deals with it from day to day. But I want to give Erica Chavez a card. Embrace change. So this is out of the Empath Oracle deck from Monica the Medium. Beautiful deck that she has here. And it says, change offers opportunities for growth. Consider straying from the path of familiarity so that you may welcome something new. And that's big for you right now is change, change, change. Let's shift directions. Let's move forward. Let's stop looking at the past. You've done the past, right? And your team is very strong coming in saying it is time for you to move forward. It is time for you to embrace the new you that's emerging. And this is going to sound bizarre, but I feel like I'm in some sort of sci-fi movie because they've put me in that like cocoon from like Aliens way back when in the 80s, right? And you are coming out of this cocoon in a different form, a different body, and you've shed those old layers behind you. And then what that cocoon's going to do is just absorb all that energy and at some point just dissolve, disintegrate back into space or earth, and that'll be transmuted out. But it is about the immersion for you. It's about new beginnings for you. It's about starting something afresh for you. And that is key right now because I want you to really hear what they're saying. Do it. The timing may seem a bit off, but it's time now. And I'm going to leave you with that. So thank you, Erica. You guys join LaShawn and I, Ashley Tower and Spirit Walker Nicole on Friday, January 29th at 6:30. We are doing our monthly Facebook Live. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be on Shades of Spirit LLC's page. So you can join us over there on Facebook. And we will see you after this break.
A word of caution, if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthisfunny.com today.
Hi, my name is Diane McClay. I'm comfortable being in front of people. How to make things work in a structured format made me feel a little nervous. Everybody I have worked with on the Transformation Talk team met me with enthusiasm. Their confidence in me spilled over to me and allowed me to just grab onto it and say, oh yeah, that's me and I can own it. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for allowing me to put my gifts into the world. And thank you for making me look good while I do it.
Did you know that when we talk about the Earth's ecosystems, the most important ecosystem has been left out? We created the ecosystem approach to recapture human potential.
Find us at theecosystemapproach.org.
Join us every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
The Finder of Lost Things, exploring your superpowers of trust, healing, and transformation with me, Hannah Belton. When my brother Christian went missing, I completely denied my grief. We can either transform and transition, or we can stay stagnant. This podcast will uncover the process that Christian and I went on to find the lost things, him, and to find the parts of me that were missing. And there's things that are missing in you that prevent you from letting go, whether it's a person, a dream, a lifestyle. That process of trusting and finding the lost pieces and integrating them. That's where you get your sustainable transition that will carry on. Tune in every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. You can find me at hannahvelton.online.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Hello, everybody. Psychic Medium Jaime from Shades of Spirit here, and my co-host today, LaShawn Butler. We are so excited to have LaShawn on because this is a topic really that's near and dear to her heart, but took a very long time. I know, you guys, she looks like she's 30, but it took a very long time for her to understand what was happening to her physical body and why were things coming up and feelings and just, why was she doubled over in pain? Off and on all these years, and it's because she's a very strong physical empath. So there are definitely different levels of being an empath. We have the emotional empaths. I'm definitely one of those. We have a good friend, shout out to Lauren, who is probably one of the most intense emotional empaths, and she can feel it from everything, from the people that are in a home to the energies coming through. I love this question that Vicki Bauer offered us, that she gave us. And she said, can a location be like an energy vampire? I've had the same experience at the same location over and over again. Of course, sometimes Lauren's over there in the corner because she feels the energy of the land. So energy can also kind of move that out of us, right? It can be in what some of us call a dead space, to where it needs to replenish itself. Generally, for space, we can go in and clear it out. We can do land offerings. We can call in, our ancestors to help build up that energy. Sometimes it does take time, but absolutely a space can do that for us as well. Plus, we don't know, and maybe you do, who resided in that space or what was on that land before, wherever you are, was there currently. And that could just be also spirit energies. So it takes time for us to be able to move into that space and sort that out. But, if it's happening in your own home, these are questions that we need to ask, like, what is happening? So now that you understand that you probably have some of these physical empath qualities from the quiz, you don't have to worry and let them overwhelm you. Okay. We can handle them. So we're going to talk about ways to surrender that toxic energy and how we work with energy. I can center myself and refrain from taking other people's pain on. It's helped me become more insightful. It's helped me become more compassionate and richer in just the fact that I can share the space with someone in love and light and be on that level. So I want you guys to listen to LaShawn. LaShawn, the first question I want you to answer is, what do you do to ready yourself for a full day of people? Because sometimes, you've got, maybe 2 clients are going to call you. You've got somebody you're going to do a reading for. You got to get out to Dunkin'. I mean, let's give them a shout out today for you. You got to go to the grocery store. How do you, being such a porous physical empath, how do you set your day up? How do you go out into the world and function?
Okay, so first off, it starts before I even get out of the bed. Okay, and when I'm waking up, the first thing I do is I have a conversation with my higher ups, to all my angels and archangels, guardian angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, and the powers. Okay.
Everybody.
Yes. I have a whole team that I call on because, basically what I go in and I just ask for anything, throughout this day, that anything that I experience and that I feel, that I will be able to take that on, figure it out, who it belongs to, and I send healing to them. So my whole thing is, the gratitude is a huge thing, because even though that there are times when I'm in pain from feeling people's physical pain or emotional or mental pain, I'm grateful for that, because as you said in the last segment, it gives you more sympathy and you're more compassionate to people and what they're actually going through. And that's something that I used to didn't have because I didn't understand what I had to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So, my thing is to talk to my higher ups and let them know that, I'm grateful for the gifts that I have been given. I want to be able to help these people. And that's really how I start my morning off, is just asking and praying and gratefulness and the protection. I ask for protection of myself, of my body.
That's really key, you guys, is maybe you forget to do that once you get out of bed, but I'm assuming most of us brush our teeth in the morning. We teach our mediumship students to do your spirit date. All right, spirit team, come on in while I'm brushing my teeth, right? Usually you're thinking about the 100 things you have to do that day. Well, you know what? You already thought about it during the cup of coffee. Now invite your spirit team in. It's a set time every day, and say to them, hey, I'm checking in with you today. I got a busy day. I have one angel that is my angel of protection. So I ask her to create shields for me, barriers for me, whatever they need to look like for the day. I can change them throughout the day. It's free will. It's my body, my energy, and acknowledging that. So who do you think, LaShawn, affects your energy the most as an empath? Is it going to be the person in the grocery store you don't know? Is it going to be a client? Is it going to be spirit? Like, where do you think that affects you the most?
Yes, I would say the most is when I'm out and about, and like you said, like the grocery stores. There's been times where I've just like broke down and just been in utter tears over what I'm experiencing while I'm out. And the hard part about that for me at times is that I'm not, because I'm surrounded with so many people, I'm not sure exactly who this is being directly affected to. I can't always tell that. But negative people, it affects my energy. People who are self-absorbed, and that's a huge one. You talk about vampires, I call them energy vampires. People who are like self-absorbed. The news, that is something else that really, really affects me, and not just on the mental level, but like I said, on the physical side of it.
Absolutely. And I've seen you. I mean, if you guys watched our last Facebook page, it's still up on Shades of Spirit. You will see LaShawn tune into a spirit and stand up and have to just hold on to her side. And you have to have the spirit energy acknowledged as well, right? So again, you guys, we are affected by energy that we cannot see. So if you have a loved one that maybe did pass of, some type of cancer, right? Or if you had somebody that passed that had broken their arm as a child, and all of a sudden your wrist is bothering you for a few days, don't dismiss that might just be a loved one trying to say, hey, remember when I broke my wrist? My energy is here. So when it comes down to that physical pain with the unknown, if you can't place where it belongs, how do you become empowered in your own gifts to say, okay, enough is enough, it needs to go?
Okay, so once again, it's about reaching out to my higher ups and asking for that protection. If I do not know the person that I am experiencing this pain from, such as like being out in the stores and what I do is I send a white light around me and the entire place. And I ask that whoever that this pain that I am feeling, that it will go to them and that they are willingly ready to accept it. And I just sent a ton of love and light to them. I have to say this. When I am going through, and like you said, a lot of people have seen me on the Facebook Lives where I have broken down. I'm in pain. I'm still trying to figure out some of the signs as to what things are. But so you will see me get up and say, okay, it's right here, or this is what it feels like. I just had a situation last night where someone was hospitalized, and I can literally feel my heart. It was an issue of the heart. I can feel my lungs filling up, which means that there's, and that's a new sign for me for pneumonia. So basically, I just go in, talk to my higher ups, send that positive light out to them, and that positive love, and put that shield over myself. I don't know. It's you would think that it's a lot more complicated as to the process of doing that. It's not. It's just a matter of learning how to manage it and what's yours and what's not. And that took a while for me to figure out how to do, is what was my pain, because talking about being a hypochondriac, I was always at the doctor's.
You guys, so this is, I don't want to say normal, but it's the new normal. It's becoming aware of what's going on around us. LaShawn is going to pull a card for Brianna when we get back from the break, so she'll work on that. I'm going to pull a card before we go to break for Liz Fisher right now before we go to break. Liz, I'm pulling something from the Empath deck for you, which just flew out, landed face up. You got the deep breathing card. I had a feeling, and it wasn't just because LaShawn was talking about the tightness in her chest, but I had a feeling that you were not breathing deep enough, that you are running around from thing to thing, so many things going on in your mind. It's like this tornado that's in this card. And we need to release this energy, and we need to allow ourselves to understand where it's coming from. You are not, you're not mistaken when you think this can't all be me. It's not. You are very empathic. You are very open right now. This card says, when feeling overwhelmed, focus your attention on your breath. Helping us deep breathe allows us to relax. It releases the anxiety, which I also feel like you may have a little bit of that fight or flight. I kind of feel almost panicked at times right now. There's a lot of things coming in, not only with just our own lives that we're trying to move forward with, but I'm feeling the pressure on my chest building as well. And it's just allowing ourselves to breathe and allowing ourselves to transmute that energy. And it's time to focus on one lane right now. You've got too many branches out in this beautiful tree that you have going for you. But we need to kind of cut it back. So like when you cut a lot of big trees back in the winter, especially if you're back east, you don't want the ice and snow to drop the branches on your car or home. They need you to start kind of do some house cleaning, if you will, and energetic house cleaning as well. And I'm going to leave you with that. When we come back from break, we'll explain some of the ways that we can continue to work through and transmute that physical energy within ourselves that we're carrying around as an empath. And then Brianna will have a card from LaShawn as well. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be back right after this break.
You've been listening, but are you watching? Tune in to your favorite shows on the Transformation Talk Radio Facebook page. We stream live video podcasts every day, and we love to hear from you. Leave comments and questions for the host to address live, on the air, and get to know the faces behind the voices you love. Just go to Facebook and search for Transformation Talk Radio.
Yeah, yippee skippy to that, baby.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
Are you tired of being tired? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know the adrenal glands, the workhorse of the body? They are the means by which you position yourself in life for whatever comes your way. Tiny but mighty, producing hormones the body uses to promote energy and vitality. These adrenals determine how you respond to stress, and when depleted, the body loses its ability to function powerfully when we need it most. The much-needed adrenaline or epinephrine is not available for emergency situations. Cortisone and cortisol, the longer-acting anti-stress adrenal hormones, can also become depleted due to the pace of our everyday lives. We overwork and undernutrition, our most powerful ally that helps us to live the lives we desire. We are able to determine the optimum function of the adrenals and put your system back in balance. Contact us today to feel powerfully energized at 888-777-4232 or visit us at maryjanemack.com.
Are you ready to shift your current beliefs about death? From debilitating pain and loss? Follow Angie Corbett-Kuiper as she shares that through choice, present moment awareness, and keeping an open mind. Anything is possible, even in death. Tune in to Beyond Proof Radio with Angie, redefining death and loss, every first Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit BeyondProof.com.
Are you ready to invest in your best self? Join Sabrina Wright as she shares tools for creating joy and balance in your life every single day. Sabrina is here to help you become your greatest advocate and empower you to make decisions that will help you live your best life. The Live the Good Life Show, connecting your physical and spiritual self. Every second Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Find Sabrina at the right, WRIGHT, balance.com.
Do you like how we're coming back from break, everybody? And I'm talking to LaShawn and I'm going, so yes, welcome back. This isn't a no. We are ready to go. Welcome back, you guys. Psychic Medium Jaime with Shades of Spirit. And my co-host for the day is LaShawn Butler. And we are talking about being a physical empath, understanding that there's many layers of being an empath, that it's not just, one thing. Some of us are more emotional. Some of us are more physical. Some of us are more connected with nature, right? So those people that were in Australia or watching all the fires in Australia and the animals and trying to save the koalas, they felt that at such a deep level. And you know what? It's okay if you feel that more than maybe someone else that's in the physical realm. Right? A person. It just depends on where our vibration is and what our path is on the way. So as we get going out of our last segment here today on more ways to protect ourselves with the physical empathy, I want you guys to listen to LaShawn as she does a quick reading for Brianna.
Hey, Brianna. Okay, so the card that I pulled for you today is first chakra Archangel Michael. Okay. And with this, so the first chakra is the root chakra. I don't know if you know about chakras, but it's the root chakra. It's at the base of the spine. Okay. And then that is where our stability and our security is held. Okay. And so basically what this card is saying for you is that that your energy flowing regarding whatever the issues are that you're going through right now is being resolved. So you may not feel as if things are working in your favor right now, but I don't want you to worry about that because they are. And, Archangel Michael is the head of the phylum, I guess is what they're called, right? Of angels. Okay. So he is your clear quartz. He is your black tourmaline of stones, of angels, if that makes any sense. So, and this is going to go for everybody. When in doubt, Michael it out. Okay. Archangel Michael it out is what I say. So he is your person that you can go to for anything and everything. If you're not sure of a name, that is the person that that you're going to be going to. Okay. So,
I love that. No, leave her with that. That's all she needs to hear is just that part, to have someone to contact now for how she's going to move forward with that. Okay. Because that's exactly, my team is like, that's exactly the message she needs to hear.
There we have it.
I love that. And I love that you just, put an archangel and compared him to a clear quartz crystal. I mean, that was just freaking fantastic right there. Why not? What better way to describe that in a physical representation? Right. So for the last couple of ways that you handle the physical aspects of being an empath, right? We already know that you work with your spirit team, that you call your higher ups in before you even get out of bed and you set the stage for your day. I'm doing it generally when I'm brushing my teeth or I'm putting my makeup on. That's my pep talk spirit team time. I also close my day off. I know you talk to yours and you again express the gratitude that you have for your team, but what other kind of self-care or, being a Reiki master, how does that affect you as well when working as an empath? Because everybody, remember, we all have the ability to channel that energy. You see the hands of light. You'll see them doing different types of Reiki work in hospitals. They may not call it Reiki, or you may have different degrees of Reiki and where it came from, and that's okay. But we all are able to do this. So how do you use that for yourself, and what ways can you give people to be able to release this energy and transmute it as well?
Okay. So I work with crystals, obviously, a lot, and that helps me to transmute that energy. I just pick up what I'm drawn to at that point in time. And let me say this about that. We see our stuff, our crystals or things when we're out, and we go for what's pretty, what's cute. That is the very first thing that we all go for, right? But then when you get it home and you start looking and getting to researching what it is, you'll find in majority of the time, a lot of the time, that is exactly what you needed for what you're going through at that point in time. Okay. So crystals is one of the ways that I transmute that energy. I have singing bowls back here. You guys see the singing bowls? I would sit down on the floor and I would just play my singing bowls I have a shamanic drum. That's what I also use to transmute that energy. And this is all part of self-care, and this is the reason why. Because it is 100% about me at that point in time. This is, how is LaShawn feeling? How does LaShawn get this energy to, go somewhere else? How does LaShawn, feel? So I have that, speaking to my higher ups. Talking to our angels is the most underutilized thing that we do. And that's one of the things I love about Shades of Spirit, because that's something that they talk about, and they talk about it a lot, and it's extremely important. Just want to put that out there. And I do a lot of salt baths. Himalaya salt baths is another way that I do that. And taking showers. Those are all my time. Now, taking showers, yes, everybody takes a shower. I get that. But y'all don't understand that when I'm in that shower, that is my time where I'm really connecting. I am with my higher ups. I am connecting to myself. I am putting out my affirmations for myself. I am getting rid of anything that I have gone throughout that day, whether it's my readings that I do, whether it's, just my everyday life of dealing with hubby and kids, or, so that's basically what I do to transmute that energy and take care of that self-love. Listen, if we don't take care of ourselves, we cannot take care of anybody else. And I know that's said a lot, but once again, that's another thing that is highly underutilized, is taking care of ourselves. It's important.
Absolutely. And we had, I had a friend who had someone that passed not that long ago, and that energy came through to me same day. And the physical pain that I felt, right, was intense. And then the emotional pain was even more intense. And I had to, bring my spirit team in, ask him to kind of create a bubble around me. I was able to validate the way he passed and what happened. And then what I was able to do is take back my power. So I visualized this energy. I took some deep breaths and allowed this beautiful light to come in, right? That white light, fill every aspect of my body and my being. And then put it out through the soles of my feet into Mother Earth. And then I did another deep breath in, and I blew this one out as hard as I could, just visualizing that muck that is in there, right? Because he's obviously in a space to where he needed me to see it and feel it, but I no longer wanted to take it in. And I was also feeling their pain on this side of losing that individual, right? So it was compounded by both energies. And so I really had to work through that energy and to be able to let it go. So breath work for me works lovely. Seeing the white light coming through. And then doing attention active meditation, which is going to be one that I'm going to record. I know, Olivia, I'm a little behind. But it's like wringing out the cloth in each one of your muscle groups, and inhaling and tightening these groups and releasing that energy out is also a very good way to do that as well. So we want to thank LaShawn for coming on today and co-hosting with me. What better topic than what we live through every day, and giving everybody that's listening and our viewers tools on how to manipulate this energy as well. Join Shades of Spirit on the first Sunday of every month, right? That's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're here in California, guys. We have, it's a spirit check-in. It's $25. You get a mini reading. We only take 10 to 11 people max, so we can keep these groups intimate. So if you want to know what's kind of up and coming for you, or you just want that spiritual check-in, or you're hoping to hear from somebody, maybe it's their birth month that have passed, that's what we do there. We also have our numerology workshop, which I'm excited to offer, that just went up for posting on 2/20/2021, which equals the number 9, which is about ascension, which is about spiritual growth, which is really about that connection of the consciousness. That is at 11 a.m. That's a Saturday. And we have a release and intentions on February 26th at 6:30 p.m. as well. We're going to be doing all sorts of other cool things. We have an angel workshop coming up in March that Spirit Walker Nicole is going to be working on. We've got a lot of cool things, you guys. So thank you, LaShawn. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next week.
You've been listening to Shades of Spirit with me, Jamie.
And me, Spirit Walker Nicole.
Tune in next time on TransformationTalkRadio.com as we connect you with your crossed over loved ones, angels, and guides.
And for more information and to book your own private experience, go to shadesofspirit.com. That's shadesofspirit.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.